What's up, everybody? Geekopedia here. Welcome back for another video today. I got something special for you today. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, which was just released today, and I finally watched Werewolf by Night. That's been something that I've keep forgetting to watch, and I know it's way past Halloween now, but I've just been wanting to watch that for a while now. Now I finally got the time to watch it, so I figured I'd be doing a review for both of those today. This goes without saying for Werewolf by Night, but since Guardians of the Galaxy came out today, I will put this out there. There will be spoilers in this review, so if you've not watched Guardians of the Galaxy's holiday special yet, don't watch this video if you don't want spoilers. So I'll start with Werewolf by Night first, since it came out first, and since the majority of Marvel fans, I think, know what happens in it. So I don't think anybody will be as hard pressed if I get into spoilers over that one. So where do I start with Werewolf by Night? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. First off, I loved the set design in this special. It was literally made like a classic creature feature. You know, like the old Universal horror classics like Bram Stoker's Dracula, Frankenstein, the original like Mummy movies before the Brendan Fraser Mummy movies. All those. This is very reminiscent of those, and that's probably my favorite part, or the greatest fact about Werewolf by Night. It's that it just pays homage to all these classic monster movies. Like when this special starts, it starts out like a classical horror movie. That it's so awesome. The whole thing, except for like the last minute, is all in black and white. The cinematography, it's shot in black and white, just like the OG classic monster movies. I'm not sure if it was in grayscale. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comics or in the comments, but I think it might have been grayscale. I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that. And if I am wrong, please correct me. But I think it was shot in grayscale. And if it was, oh my gosh, this was... I don't know what to say about Werewolf by Night. This might be... Let's just say this is going to be a new Halloween tradition of mine, to watch this every Halloween now. The performances are all really great. The actor, I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays the werewolf himself, real name is Jack. I can't remember what the actor's name, but he's a standout. I loved him. And the makeup on, like, I think he has, like, these scars on him. That's either scars or, like, paint, because he mentions that the reminiscence of, like, his ancestors. I believe that's what he said. I loved that. The makeup artists in this did amazing in this. I applaud you. I applaud you. That was so good. And it really... he really rammed it home on this character, on who he is, on who Jack is. At first, I don't know if this could count as like a criticism for Werewolf by Night, but Jack doesn't really become the werewolf until like the last 10 minutes of the short film. I know it's a special presentation they're calling it, but it's kind of a short film. That's how I'm kind of calling it, but yeah, he doesn't really turn into the werewolf until, like, the last 10 minutes, which, at first I was like, well, when's the werewolf gonna come? But, honestly, I really liked that. I really liked that touch. They really built up these characters and made me love these characters, specifically Jack and Elsa, the daughter of that monster hunter who had died. And his wife is bringing all these monster hunters together to hunt down Man-Thing, which Man-Thing looks sick in this. I'm so happy Man-Thing is in the MCU now, which, by the way, like, except for, like, the first, like, 5 seconds where we do get like a classic monster like esque drawing of the Avengers. There's literally no MCU connections in this at all, which I actually really loved, because I know like other people have been kind of like big on this, but I'm more in the middle of this. But a lot of people don't like it when the MCU goes too hard in all of its connections, which I understand those criticisms, and there are certain like films, definitely recently with the MCU, where I do have to agree with that. It just kind of, when they flood too many Easter eggs and when they flood too much connections to other MCU stuff, it just kind of gets distracting, and with I really feel like Werewolf by Night really benefited from that by kind of leaving all that at the door and not really, like, we know it's MCU. We know it's in the MCU. It's just there's literally no mentions of like Thanos or the Avengers or Spider-Man, kind of like how Moon Knight was. You know how like Moon Knight, like we know Moon Knight was in the MCU, which by the way, I loved Moon Knight the series. I might do a review on that. I hear a lot of people kind of bashing Moon Knight, which I don't understand. I loved Moon Knight, and I hope that gets a season 2. But anyway, yeah, there's literally next to no connections to the wider MCU in this, which in my opinion, I think it benefited it for the good. So with that, I give Werewolf by Night an A plus. I know it's cheesy sometimes for somebody to say, "Oh, this is awesome, A plus," but I mean it with this. I really think Werewolf by Night was just amazing. So with that, I'll get to the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Now, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies. They are my favorite MCU films. So I was excited that they were going to get a holiday special when I first heard about it. And I think overall, James Gunn knocked it out of the park with this. For those of you who don't know, I'm wanting to become a film director. I'm in college right now, hoping to study that. And James Gunn is one of my heroes. He's one of my inspirations and one of the famous directors out there today who's inspired me to pursue my love for filmmaking and wanting to direct movies. Between James Gunn and Chris Stuckman, he's a YouTuber, a movie reviewer on YouTube, but now he's going to be directing his first feature film, so I can't wait for that. Those two are my heroes. I love those. So anything with James Gunn or Chris Stuckman's name on it, I love. And this special is no different. I love how they based the entire plot around kind of like this long-running joke that's been going on in the MCU, especially with the Guardians, is that Peter Quill loves Kevin Bacon. And the entire plot of this special is played around with that. Because it's about Drax and Mantis kidnapping Kevin Bacon to give him to Star-Lord to help cheer him up after like everything that happened in Infinity War and Endgame and being away from Earth since he was a child. So, I think that was just hilarious how they did that. Let's see. Like Werewolf by Night, the cinematography was also really good in this. I loved the usage of all the Christmas songs, like these different versions of Christmas music in this. I think it really worked really well. I love how the Guardians movies, in their use of like 70s, 80s, like retro music. And in effect, while there's not a lot of like retro music in this one, a lot of that is replaced with Christmas music, but it's still used to the same effect, and I really love that. Negatives, there weren't a lot of negatives that I saw. The biggest one, I might get some flack for saying this, but the biggest negative I saw was Groot's design. So far, I'm not really a huge fan of how Groot looks in this holiday special. I don't know. The CGI looked amazing. I'm not trying to say that. The CGI was great. For both Werewolf by Night and Guardians of the Galaxy's holiday special. The CGI was great on Groot. It's just the design that they were going with, I'm not really a huge fan of. Maybe it'll look better, in my opinion, when Guardians Volume 3 comes out. So I don't want to judge it that much. because this skill is a lower budget holiday specials, and it's not going to be as big as like the feature length film. So, yeah, honestly, Groot's design has got to be the only thing that I wasn't 100% about, but that's okay. I know that there'll probably be a lot of people who like it, and that's fine. Another thing that I really want to talk about is Cosmo. We finally got Cosmo in the MCU. Well, technically, she's already been in the MCU, but she's not really played a huge role until now, and of course in Guardians Volume 3. And so I'm just really excited for Cosmo. What I really liked, this is gonna be like a mini rant, so I'm sorry, but a lot of people know that Cosmo in the comics is male, but in the MCU, James Gunn decided to make Cosmo a female. And I love this detail because James Gunn said that Cosmo would be a female in tribute to the dog. I think her name was Leica, if I'm pronouncing that right. The female dog that was sent into space by the Soviet Union to test out if humans could survive space travel. So I think I'm not really for sure because I know Lakia was the inspiration for Cosmo in the original Marvel comics, but Lakia was a female dog, whereas comic book Cosmo was a male dog. So I'm not sure where they got the idea to go to make a male dog out of Lakia, the real life female dog, but I really like the detail that Cosmo's a female in the MCU. I just feel like that's a really good tribute to the real life dog. So I applaud you with that, James Gunn. So yeah, I give this one an A, mostly because Groot's design I'm not really a huge fan of. But like I said, that's just my opinion. So yeah, these are both really good. If you get the chance, check these both out. You will not be disappointed. They were really good, and the holiday special was so funny. It was hilarious, man. It was when when Mantis and Drax give Kevin Bacon to Star-Lord. Star-Lord has a panic attack because he's like, "What did you do? You kidnapped this man." And they just play it up, and Nebula wants to kill him and everything. It's just, you gotta watch. It's hilarious. It's funny. It's classic James Gunn. He knows how to make you laugh, and he also knows how to make you cry. That's all I'll say about this. So yeah. With that, I hope you liked this video. Please subscribe. If you want to see more, I'll be doing a lot more videos. Remember, God loves you and I love you too, and I will see you guys next time.